Hi everyone, it's Corinne, and welcome to this week's episode of Mindset Mondays, in which I'm going to be talking about a topic that was submitted by a subscriber. Thanks very much, Eva. um, on what to do when you have a dominant client. So, Eva's question was specifically, what about proposing a retainer or employment agreement to a client who sends you tons and tons of work? And I normally feel really positive about the ideas that people have for dealing with their own freelance dilemmas. But in this case, I'm going to say, especially in the current sort of economic and political climate, if you want to put it that way, where I think there is a lot of concern about misclassification of freelancers, I would be very hesitant personally to propose a retainer or employment contract even to a really big client because of the fear that they would think it means I think that I am being misclassified as a freelancer, that I should be an employee, but they're classifying me as a freelancer, which I think could generate some ill will with that client. Um, but I think the bigger picture topic here is what to do about a dominant client. And should you fear clients who send you tons and tons of work? To which I think the answer is maybe or maybe not. So, in one sense, if you think about it, people who have salary jobs who work in the US have almost no more of a safety net than a freelancer does and have essentially like one client, if you want to put it that way. So within the US, I believe you can be let go with as little as 2 weeks' notice, or the employer would really only be obligated to pay you for 2 weeks after they tell you that they don't need you anymore. Which is, 2 weeks is, you're certainly not going to find another salary job in 2 weeks. And that is, all your eggs in that one basket. So I talk to a lot of freelancers who say, like, I'm in this bind because I have this incredible client. They have interesting work, they pay well, they're so easy to work with. And, my goal is to translate 10,000 words a week, and maybe in some weeks they send me 8,000 words. What should I do? So I actually think that is not the worst situation in the world because you have all of this great work, but you need two things. Number one, a financial safety net in case they drop you with no warning, and a plan of what you are going to do the second that they drop you. What other types of clients are you going to start marketing to? So I'll tell you for sure, I had years ago a client who was not huge, but they were pretty big. They sent me maybe, I don't know, 15,000 euros of work a year, 15,000 euros of work a year at that time. And literally from one day to the next said to me, guess what? This crazy thing happened. We were looking to hire someone half time in our international relations office. And it turns out that that person used to be a translator, so we're going to hire them full time and give them all of our translation work. It literally happened in the course of one day. But the two things I think you need if you have a dominant client are number one, a financial cushion so that you are not financially panicking if they tell you from one day to the next that they don't need you anymore. And number two, to say to yourself, if they ever drop me, here's what I'm going to immediately do to start finding more work. And I think in my mind, that is probably a better option than the retainer. Sorry, you're seeing my foster cat's ear. I'm recording this at home, which I usually don't do, and my foster kitty Bob had to have his ear in it. Um, I actually think that those are better options than the retainer or employment agreement because I think most freelance clients keep you as a freelancer because they don't want an ongoing commitment. And whether it's employment or whether it's retainer, what you're asking them for is an ongoing commitment. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts too. Okay, thanks and have a great week.